From Kern Government Television, welcome to this week's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting, originating from the County Administrative Center located at 1115 Truxtun Avenue, Bakersfield, California. Kern County's vision is to create and maintain a customer-centered county government designed to garner the confidence, support, and trust of the people we serve. Today's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting will convene momentarily.
Board to reconvene. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Supervisor Gleason.
Here.
Supervisor Scrivener.
Here.
Supervisor Maggard. Supervisor Couch. Supervisor Perez. Here.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We're going to begin. Well, first of all, welcome to the Friday, March 30th, 2018 meeting, special meeting of the Kern County Board of Supervisors. We're going to begin today's meeting with a salute to our flag, and I'm going to ask Supervisor Perez to lead us in that. And if you could remain standing for a moment of prayer, silence, or meditation, please stand.
Thank you, Supervisor. Please stand. Salute. Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. I want to welcome everyone here, and the next item, I'd like a report on actions taken in closed session from Tuesday, March 20th at 2 p.m. and also Monday, March 26, 2018 at 1 p.m. And I'll ask Mark Nations, our Kern County Counsel, to give that report.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman. The board did meet in closed session on both of those days in connection with the Luna matter, which has brought us here today, and there are no reportable actions taken in either of those closed sessions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nations. Next item on our agenda will be public presentations. This portion of the meeting is reserved for persons to address the board on any matter listed on this agenda. Board members may respond briefly to statements made or questions posed. They may ask a question for clarification, make a referral to staff for factual information, or request staff to report back to the board at a later meeting. And so at this time, I'll ask if there are any persons in the audience that would like to make a comment about any item on this agenda, and that item, of course, is our closed session item. I'd ask you to state your name and please observe our 2-minute time limit. If you'd like to speak, please come forward. Yes, sir.
Hi, Jeff Heinley, candidate, what's left of the 3rd District. I hope you will indulge me.
For 2 minutes, please.
Okay. Hope you'll indulge me in a little constructive criticism and some observations I would like to share with this body over the MALDEF process. When our representatives willingly choose politics before people, they not only erode the community's trust, but they burden their constituents with liability. Elected officials such as yourselves have a moral obligation to the greater good and, more importantly, to adhere to a nonpartisan philosophy that represents the well-being of all the law-abiding citizens, regardless of race, sex, or creed. MALDEF is the result of what happens when politics before people is the philosophy of our elected officials. 10 years ago, this body elected to go behind closed doors and draw lines in such a way that it silenced the voice of the Latino community. It has been reported on news that it is estimated that over $2 million of Kern County tax dollars have been spent. Tax dollars that should be going to public safety or mental health, education, basically anywhere else in the budget. It is my understanding that the current lines were a 7th option drawn up by the supervisors in closed-door sessions and then quickly voted on without public comment. Politics before people. Flash forward to today, nothing's changed. Legal technicalities that allowed the option of choosing the exact same mode of operation that occurred a decade ago that created this mess happened again. In my opinion, ethics should have demanded that public input and full knowledge of this process be witnessed, and ethics demanded that possibly 2 of the supervisors should have recused themselves from this process. Closed-door modus operandi did nothing more than to reinforce the perception that nothing was learned from the results of MALDEF. And I can tell you that my personal perception is that political maneuvering took place behind closed doors, evident in the simple fact that I am now possibly drawn out of the 3rd District, with the caveat, as the rumors go, that I can move into the district when I win in November.
Mr. Hanley, please bring your statement to a close.
Yes, sir. What happened a decade ago by some of the exact same players is taking place again today. And when you don't have transparency, and that did not occur, we come to the conclusion as a body that the process is flawed.
Thank you, Mr. Hanley. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who'll be next, please? Good morning.
Good morning, David Fluhart, 1st District. We're talking about Kern County and districts and everything, and I just wanted to say it all started back in 1866, 152 years ago. And it's kind of a funny story. April 1st, after Sunday services and whatnot, the local inhabitants had gone down the bars, got drunk and whatnot. You know, they were gold miners and Confederate outlaws and miscreants and social rejects and whatnot. Anyways, they put together a petition on April 1st, 1866 that asked the state of California to create Kern County. And back then, you know, this was just all swampland and there wasn't really much down here in the lower parts. And on April 2nd, the state of California granted Kern County's existence. So it doesn't really have much to do with MALDEF and the issues we got today, but I just wanted to say that, you know, April 1st, kind of a fool's joke, but not much of a joke. And on top of that, this is interesting, you know, this Sunday.
Mr. Fluhart, please keep your comments relevant to what's on the agenda.
Yeah.
The redistricting issue. Thank you.
The redistrict issue.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
And then I was just about to close up anyway. Sorry for taking so long. But that was April 1st, 1866 was also Easter Sunday, just like this Sunday. So I just thought it was an interesting concept. And, you know, getting back to this district thing, don't know what you guys are going to do or how it's going to go or anything. But anyways, in God we trust. And we win in the end. Happy Easter and Good Friday. Thank you.
Thank you. Who'll be next, please?
Good morning. My name is Linda Fiddler. I am a resident of the 5th District. I just have a question. Are we going to see the maps this morning, or the map?
Mr. Nations?
County Council, would you respond, please?
No.
Oh. When will the maps be public, or the map, the chosen map by the supervisors? When will it be public?
If the, we've been ordered back to court at 2 o'clock, and if the supervisors approve the map that the court has ordered the supervisors to consider, the map will be made available after the court proceedings today at 2 o'clock.
Okay, then after that, after we see the map, will we have another chance to address the Board of Supervisors before approval?
The map, if it's approved by both sides, will be submitted to the court, and the court will order it into effect.
So the public won't have any ability to look at the map prior and make public comment?
That's correct.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Who'll be next, please? Do I have any other speakers? Okay, seeing none, then we'll close the public presentation portion. And the next item on our agenda is a closed session item, and so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn to closed session.
Supervisor, I'd like to address
excuse me, Supervisor
some
Perez.
comments. Thank you. It's nice to see good friends in the front row. I don't always get that. It is really nice to see you guys. I'm so happy that you're here and involved in this process. When the judge made the decision to set the timeline for this case, he did not intend there to be a public hearing process. And it was very clear that the redistricting that will occur per the new census lines will be a very lengthy and extensive process that will begin very soon at the close of the decade. And so the judge provided a 3-week timeline by which if the two sides could not agree on what have been pretty fleshed out principles around how do we make this even possible for a second majority-minority district. It is there are not many options to make that happen. It is strikingly frustrating. But the judge gave us approximately 3 weeks to get together and make a decision, or he would impose a map, of which none of us would have any input whatsoever. And so, as frustrating as this process has been, and as much as I am very saddened by what I see is clearly frustration from the public about what appears to be a lack of transparency or lack of public input, and that pains me. For all the obvious reasons. The reality for us is the judge gave us 3 weeks to make a decision, or he was going to impose a map. That was our reality, and that's where we are, and that's how we're here today. So I want to extend my thank you for being here, my gratitude for all of your consistent involvement in local government and beyond, and your genuine passion for this body and its responsiveness to the community. That is so incredibly critical. So thank you for being here. I appreciate, understand, and respect your frustration. I know that a lot of that is directed at me as well, and that is deserved. But I want you to know we had very limited time, a very small time frame, one in which the judge did not entertain or believe that a public process was even possible. So I humbly submit that to you. I know that won't satisfy your concerns, but I ask you to please take that into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Perez. Supervisor Gleason.
Sure, I'll jump on that. Quick second. Thank you. I hope everybody has a meaningful Good Friday. I know I'm going to, in many ways. I agree with Supervisor Perez. The U.S. Federal District Court judge started a legal process. We are in the throes of complying with his mandate. It did not account for public process. And furthermore, I would not be willing to take public input on a redistricting plan, which I would consider sacred, and bring that in to negotiate with a special interest group. That would do a disservice to the public, if you ask me. So we're in the place we're in. We're complying with a judge who has ordered us to behave like this, and we're complying with the best we can with his mandate. I agree with Supervisor Perez. Sad day for the public today. Thanks.
Thank you, Supervisor Gleason. Do we have a motion to adjourn to closed session?
So moved.
We are adjourned.